morning, everyone. Welcome. I want to thank everyone for coming out this morning. I apologize the weather's not perfect, but that's okay. We're going to get through this very quickly. I'm Darrell Otterson. I'm president of the York County Economic Alliance, and we're here this morning to celebrate and commemorate this complex that you see behind us here. This is a major urban revitalization project that was undertaken in the mid-90s. It has been identified as probably the most iconic project that the former York County Economic Development Corporation was involved in. It's been a tremendous asset in this neighborhood. But when that project was undertaken back in the mid-90s, one of the pieces that never happened was the inclusion of an identification sign as to what this complex is. This complex has been named the Industrial Plaza of York since the mid-1990s, but if you go around the complex and look for an identification of the Industrial Plaza of York, there's never been a sign integrated into the complex, and that's something that we've wanted to rectify over the last 10 years and not had the opportunity to do so. In recent years, we did manage to find the resources to be able to rectify a great wrong, as we have viewed it, and to be able to create new signage for this complex. But we didn't want just a plain generic sign. We wanted something that would represent the industrial heritage and the authenticity and the importance that this industrial complex had represented for this community over the years. So we got some advice from some local folks about how do we create something that would not only identify with pride what this complex represents, but also contributes to the new brand identity that we're creating here in York County as the Industrial Art and Design Center. And so we were fortunate enough to have a local team of very creative artists here in our community, known as Salvaging Creativity, and Pat Sells, who has been working with us on this project. I'd like to invite him to come forward and say a few words about the concepts for what we're going to be unveiling here momentarily. Pat, you want to come up?
This is a really exciting project for us. Working in this community and coming to a point like this is our neighborhood as well. So it was fun to be able to put a piece, right in our sort of home space, our home block. York is a place where things are made, where things were made and still are to a large extent. So we got to run around and go to the Heritage Trust and dig through the books and crawl through the buildings and piece together the story of what happened on this site. Refrigeration equipment, pressure plates, flywheels, just looking at the old machines and then collecting some of those pieces together into something fun that would add to people's drive up Philadelphia Street and help to recognize this old facility for what it was used for. So I have to give credit to Casey Tyrrell for taking all these random pieces and objects and putting them together into this form, and then Keith Bachman and we all labored for about a year putting them together and getting them just right. So I'll turn it back to Darrell and get ready for the unveiling. But
thanks, Pat. I just want to say that I want to thank all of the board members of the York County Economic Alliance, all of the board members of our allied entities, which there's too many of them to really name, that have really played an important role in this. The financial supporters of the organization. We dedicate this fine piece of artwork as a new addition to our industrial art and design artwork that is emerging throughout the community. And so without any further ado, if we could get the guys to please lift the tarp. It speaks for itself. These guys did a fantastic job, and thank you so much. It's great it's a great addition.
I think it's a long evolution, you know, piecing it together, building the template on the floor, and then laying it out on site. And
now, how does it feel then seeing it out here?
I mean, it's kind of funny. Like our process and our fun is the finding the pieces and making it. So we have all our fun in the shop, cutting things apart and welding them together. And it's weird. You've all these hours and late nights, and you finally install it, and it's kind of like you then hand it over to everybody else at the end, and you walk by and you're like, oh, did I build that? I don't really remember. You're on to the next thing, but it's fun to pieces add up and bring something to the